Title, Shadows of Her Silence, Sayus. Episode 2 of 5, The Mirror Gate. The scream caught in my throat, lodged somewhere between disbelief and terror. I whirled around to face the room behind me. Empty. No Eva. No shadow. Nothing. But the mirror told a different story. Her reflection had been clear, shoulder-length hair, pale skin, wide eyes, just behind mine for a second that dragged out an eternity. I turned back to the glass. Nothing there now but me, pale and trembling. I staggered backward, bumping into her dresser, sending a jewelry box tumbling to the floor. It spilled open, scattering tangled chains, earrings, and a small key. My fingers hovered over it. It didn't look familiar. Engraved on the bow of the key was a symbol, a circle with 3 curved lines extending from its center. I pocketed it. I didn't want to be in the house any longer, not after the mirror, not after the sound upstairs. I climbed back out the window and drove straight home, locking the door behind me and double-checking every room. When I sat on my bed, my legs finally gave out from under me. My head throbbed, but I couldn't sleep. I researched the symbol instead. I drew it from memory and reverse image searched it, but got nothing useful. Eventually, I uploaded a photo to a folklore discussion board and asked anonymously if anyone recognized it. I got 1 reply within minutes. Not a symbol you want to follow, friend. It marks a threshold, a door. If it's in your life, it means something's already come through. Burn it, and whatever you do, don't go back into the mirror. That night, I dreamt again. I stood in Eva's bedroom. She was there again, but this time she faced me. Her mouth opened and her voice poured out, but not in words, a warbling static like a broken radio, shrieking and moaning through the sound. Behind her, the mirror rippled. I woke with a gasp, my sheets soaked with sweat. I fumbled for my phone. Another message had appeared. Come see. There was no sender ID, no contact name, just those 2 words. My clock read 3:33 a.m. I knew it was madness, but I grabbed my keys and drove. Not to Eva's house. This time I followed the only lead I had, Ronan. I remembered the name of the bookstore he worked at part-time. An old, cluttered used shop called Briar and Bone, hidden in a side alley near the university. It was open 24 hours, oddly enough. For insomniacs and occult fanatics, the owner once joked to Eva and me. The bell chimed as I entered. The place smelled of paper and dust, and the air was unnaturally still. I found Ronan in the back, stacking books near the occult studies section. He looked surprised to see me, but not shocked. You shouldn't be here, he said, his voice low. Where is she, Ronan? He shook his head slowly. You think I know? She stopped coming to work 3 days ago, said she was seeing things in mirrors. He led me to a locked drawer behind the counter and pulled out a leather-bound journal. She gave me this a week ago, told me to keep it safe, didn't explain why. He handed it to me. The cover was etched with the same symbol as the key. I opened it and scanned the pages. Eva's handwriting. Entry 1. Something's wrong with the mirror in my room. I see things, hear voices. I think it's watching me. Entry 5. The door is open. I don't remember opening it, but I keep seeing myself, only not. The reflection smiles when I don't. It speaks without sound. Entry 9. I'm losing time. Hours, sometimes. I found myself in the woods yesterday. No idea how I got there. My feet were bleeding. Mara texted me, or someone pretending to be Mara. It knew things only she would know, but the words were wrong. Stiff. I think whatever's in the mirror has learned how to use our phones. I closed the journal slowly. She was scared, I whispered. Ronan nodded. She asked me not to tell anyone. I think she knew it was already too late. Too late for what? He gave me a long look. For her, but maybe not for you. If you want to understand what's happening, there's someone you need to see. He scribbled an address on a slip of receipt paper. Her name's Dr. Aldara. She studies things like this. Dreams, reflections, ancient folklore. But be careful, she doesn't believe in coincidences. It was nearly dawn when I left the shop, and as I stepped outside, I caught my reflection in the shop window. It didn't move. I stood. It stood, but when I blinked, it smiled. Dr. Aldara lived on the edge of town in a converted greenhouse that seemed to pulse with light and life, even in the muted gray of morning. Her house was smothered in ivy, tall sunflowers leaning towards stained glass windows, and wind chimes that sang in discordant, metallic tongues. I parked on the gravel drive and hesitated. The door opened before I could knock. "You're Mara," she said. Her voice was surprisingly young, though she looked old, mid-60s maybe. Long silver hair tied back with a red ribbon. Sharp eyes behind thick glasses. She wore a long coat stitched with symbols I couldn't read. She ushered me inside. The scent of sage and old paper filled the air. Books were everywhere, spines in every language, many without titles. Crystals on shelves, mirrors covered with black cloth. One mirror, small, no bigger than a saucer, was encased in glass like it was dangerous. She poured tea and sat opposite me at a table carved with concentric rings. "You've seen it?" I nodded. "Your friend, Eva, she opened a gate. Not the first, not the last, but each time it happens, the wall's thin. I felt hollow. What do you mean, gate?" Aldara tapped the table. "Mirrors are not just reflections. They are surfaces, boundaries, between here and the echoing. That's what I call it. A world beneath ours, or maybe alongside. The veil between our realities is weakest at times of emotional intensity. Death, birth, grief, fear." She handed me a book. No title, only symbols on the spine. I opened it to a page marked with red thread. A drawing of the symbol from the key burned into the page. Below it, a phrase in handwritten English. "He who crosses once is marked. He who crosses twice is claimed." "Eva crossed," I said. Aldara nodded. "But not physically. At first, it happens in dreams. Lucid fragments, bleeding through reflections. But eventually it reaches out. It wants to anchor. It uses emotion, memory, love." "Is she still alive?" A pause. "Yes, but she is within. Time moves differently there. If we don't act soon, she won't be herself when she returns. If she returns." I pulled out the key. "What does this open?" Aldara didn't touch it. "It is a tether. Each marked key can open one portal. It's bound to the one who created it. Likely a place tied to Eva's essence, her memory, her pain." That night, I slept in the greenhouse's guest room, surrounded by books and whispers in the walls. I had the mirror dreams again. Eva in the woods. A crooked tree with black leaves, a spiral staircase beneath its roots. A voice, high and feminine and inhuman, whispering, "Bring her back or stay with her. The gate takes one, returns none." I woke to the sound of humming. Aldara stood over the covered mirror. The cloth was gone. The surface shimmered, not like water, but like memory. "We found the gate," she said, "where she first saw the double. Her childhood home, burned down 10 years ago, but mirrors remember." We drove for hours. The house had been reduced to foundation and ash. Only a brick fireplace and a half-collapsed wall remained. Aldara handed me the key. "Place it in the hearth. Speak her full name." My hands shook. "Eva Morale Hastings." The key glowed, then cracked. A sudden wind rose from nowhere. Leaves danced in circles. The ash curled upward, forming a doorway. The inside was not black, the morale, but silvery. A moving image. Eva, in the woods, the crooked tree. Aldara stepped back. "I cannot go. The gate will not allow it, but you must hurry. Find her. Bring her to a tethering place. Any mirror you both once looked into together, that will anchor her." I nodded, breath frozen, and stepped through. Everything shifted. The air was syrup. The ground didn't feel like ground, more like thought. Trees pulsed with veins of light. The sky was a smear of stars, but no moon. My clothes shifted, like they had been reshaped. I wore white like Eva in my dreams. I heard humming. I followed it. For what felt like hours, I walked through landscapes from our memories, our middle school, now ruined and twisted, our beach trip, but the waves moved in reverse, my own apartment overgrown with thorns, and finally, the woods. The tree. Eva stood beneath it. She turned slowly. Her eyes were hollow, silver-rimmed. "You shouldn't have come," she said, but her voice was twofold, hers and something older. "Eva, it's me. I'm taking you home." Her lips moved, but the voice that answered came from the tree. "One may leave. One must stay." "Then take me," I said without hesitation. A pause. Eva blinked. Her eyes cleared for a second. "Mara?" I grabbed her hand. "Remember the mirror at the lake house? Summer trip. We took that dumb photo. That's where we're going. Just look at me. Hold on." The world began to scream. Light collapsed inward. The ground cracked. I pulled her forward and we ran toward the crackling silver gate that had opened again, somehow, by sheer will or memory or the force of our friendship. We fell through, and everything went black. End of episode 2 of 5, The Mirror Gate. Follow and subscribe 5-episode thriller.